A water carrier in India carried two large pots suspended from the ends of poles that he carried across his shoulders. One of the pots was perfect and delivered a full load of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the master's house. But the other pot was cracked and always arrived half full. The perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, but the cracked pot felt sad that it could achieve only half of what it had been made to do. One day, after 2 years of bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer. "I'm ashamed of myself," it said, "and I want to apologize." "Why?" asked the water bearer. Because for 2 years, I've delivered only half my load. This crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to the master's house. Because of my flaws, you don't get full value from your efforts." But the water bearer replied, "As we return to the master's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path." Sure enough, as they went up the hill, the cracked pot noticed the sun warming beautiful wild flowers. "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path?" the water bearer asked. "That's because I've always known about your flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds on your side of the path. You watered them every day as we walked back from the stream. For the past 2 years, I've used those flowers to decorate the master's table. If you weren't just the way you are, he would not have had this beauty to grace his house." We're all cracked pots, but nothing goes to waste in God's great economy. He uses our flaws to grace the universe. So, don't be afraid of your flaws, for in your weakness, you will find your strength. Author unknown. The chocolate cake answer. There's no unanswered prayers, just brownies. By Audrey Carly. One morning after my daughter Lynn went to school, I decided to bake a cake. The phone rang, but it was easy to continue mixing the batter while talking with my friend. We finished our conversation. I put the cake in the oven, and then I discovered the 3 eggs that should have gone into the batter. Too late. And when the timer rang, the flat cake resembled brownies. So I called them that and spread them with chocolate icing. The next afternoon, Lynn returned from school beaming. "Mom, I shared your brownies with my friend Jackie, and she asked for the recipe. She said they tasted so good." The brownies turned out okay, even if the chocolate cake failed, right? The experience makes me think of prayers I might think were unanswered. But now I think of them as brownies that were meant to be chocolate cake. God answered my need in the way He willed. Sometimes I got what I prayed for. Other times I received the strength and courage to accept the things God chose. During our early years of marriage, my college husband lost his job. We prayed for 2 part-time jobs, one for him and one for me, so we could share tending our baby. We went 2 weeks praying and applying for jobs, wondering if he'd have to quit school. At the last minute, I got a phone call offering me a job. I'd never applied at that office, but I didn't ask how they heard about me. I was just glad to have it and didn't question the flexible hours, excellent pay, and temporary status until my husband graduated 5 months later. On my last day at that company, I asked my coworker how Mr. Fisher knew I was looking for a job. "You don't know?" she said. "A man walked up to him in church and told him." Her words generated joy to my soul. God had taken care of us answering our prayer. My husband had been hired to do maintenance work evenings soon after I had gotten my job. His classes were he tended our child between his classes while I worked. When he graduated with teaching degree, we had both received our degree in the power of prayer. Years later, a time came when the answer to prayers for my ill husband were not what I hoped and longed for. But when he died, I felt invisible arms wrap around me, and God's peace filled and surrounded me. Over the years, many of my prayers were answered just as I'd asked. Then again, occasionally the answer was different. During those hard times, God gave me peace and strength. Sometimes I got chocolate cake. Other times I got brownies. But the Lord is good. He knows what's best. God bless you.